So some tosser sent me this video.
Yeah, athletes have to be, in competition testing, it looks good, it sounds good, but the key is out of competition stuff. When people are away, training camps, training hard, trying to recover, that's the key.
I'm interested, you said there's always been doping. What substances were there?
The ancient Greek guy, they chewed on, I don't know what they did, cocaine, I don't know what they did. They
really?
chewed on coca. Yeah, I think so. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
But I think there's always been something that could be perceived as doping all the way back. The ancient games. And then the other issue I'll say is of course the doormat of world sport is cycling. They're the sport that has taken it the hardest. Baseball, perhaps, but cycling has taken it harder than anybody else. Of course, perhaps the problem is bigger because the sport is so much harder. Let's face it, 3 weeks on the roads of France, over the Alps and the Pyrenees, and through the heat, is a lot harder than a 9-inning game. Yeah. It just is. Any sport where you can do tobacco at the same time is not nearly as hard as the Tour de France.
Exactly.
But we've done more than it. If you went to Major League Baseball and you said you're going to have random, unannounced, out of competition controls, they would tell you you're crazy. Players Union, no way. We're not playing another game. NFL, they would never do that. NHL, no way. Golf, forget it. Tennis, forget it. They would never do it. Of course, cycling has done more than anybody else. Perhaps that's why they've been caught more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. But you agree that it has to be done. For the good of the sport and for the good of athletes. What do you say to young people in all sports about this? It's not that you're just going to get caught. This is not good for you, mm-hmm. Or is it?
Well, I think. Yeah, you have to ask the question: why do we fight doping? Do we fight doping to catch cheaters, or do we fight doping to prevent health problems for the athletes? And I think that both are the right answer. But hopefully, you have to educate the athletes, especially the younger ones, that listen, 10 years of steroid abuse is just not good for you. There are examples out there of what that does to you. My case, I came out of a life-threatening disease. I was on my deathbed. Do you think I'm going to come back into a sport and say, okay, doctor, give me everything you got. I just want to go fast? No way. Would never do that. And then, of course, this is supported by years and years and years of these out-of-competition controls and other things that we had to go through.
So NBA doesn't do blood testing for testosterone, GH, or EPO. NBA does all its own testing. But there's no drugs in basketball at all. There's no money in it. Same with the UFC. No drugs at all there. Baseball, it's all just genetics to get the gains. It's all predetermined by genetics. Even Ziz agrees with that one. Nadal, natty. Full natty bra. No drugs in tennis at all. Jay Cutler, it's all genetics. Look at them ectomorph genetics. Baseball, just good training. Good training.
You've never used your own blood for doping purposes, for example.
Absolutely, that would be banned.
Okay. I'm not trying to agitate you. I'm just trying to make sure your testimony is clear.
Okay.
Okay.
So moral of the story, there's not enough money in pro sports for people to be tempted to take drugs to get an advantage over natural athletes. There's not enough money in it. Same on the YouTube community, fitness community. There's not enough money to be made to say that you're natty, so your 12 to 15-year-old teenage audience who wants to get big and swole believes you. There's not enough money in it. So there's no one out there. Steroids are illegal. They were banned in 1990, so steroids are actually off the market. You can only get them if you're in a hospital and you've got a health issue. Steroids don't even work unless you're sick. So there's a myth. There's a big myth out there that YouTubers or pro athletes are taking steroids to gain size and cuts to put out an impossible standard. That's just a big myth. That's all just genetics. Just genetics to get the gains. Become a stronger version of yourself. Steroids won't help with that. I've been swole as fuck since I was 14 years old on the fucking high school football team. Swole as fuck. I got a trenbolone deficiency, my doctor said. My ear's itchy.